Hi guys and gals, welcome back. Today we're going to take a quick tour of my basement shop, and then we're going to put up a temporary wall to keep dust in the shop and out of the rest of the basement. So let's go into the shop, and this will really only take about 20 seconds. So we got my bench over here that I recently made, table saw that I'm working on getting aligned and functional, and then over here we got some storage shelves that I made. And some random junk that's hanging out. Furnace, and the other side of the storage shelves. So really not very much space, but I do want to keep the dust that I'm making over here away from the storage and the furnace. So I'm going to put up a temporary wall. I was trying to think about what the easiest way to put up a wall would be, and initially I was thinking about drywalling off the shelving and storage part from the shop space, but that seemed like a lot of work and it would be a big mess, take a lot of time. And the only thing I really need is something to keep the dust from getting from this side over into the furnace and the shelves. So I could just hang a curtain. I saw at Harbor Freight that they have these canvas drop cloths for pretty cheap. I think it was like 15 bucks. And they're just about the right size. It's 9 feet tall, so that should be about the height of the ceiling, and 12 feet wide, so it should fit all the way across this space. So I'm just going to attach some rope to it and put a few screws up in the joists and hang it up. I had these little screw eyes, and I decided instead of buying some hooks to hang the cloth from, I just open these things up. Then I don't have to make another trip to the hardware store. They say time is money, but time is worth way more than money. There we go. Took a lot less time than going to the hardware store. These hooks are so small that I didn't think it was even worth it to pre-drill the holes. They go in there pretty easy. And you don't have to worry about the hooks being real strong or anything, because the amount of weight that each one is going to hold is not much. And honestly, this one by itself could probably hold up the whole drop cloth. Well, I was hanging up the drop cloth, and my method for attaching it is to just grab a bunch of the edge of it and wrap this rope around it, and then use that to hang it up on the hook, which works fine. But the problem is that with each hook, I have to gather up about a foot of the drop cloth. And that means by the time I get to the end of it, even though the cloth is 12 feet long, now I don't have enough room. So originally I had 7 hooks, and I'm going to end up only using 3, because that way I'm not losing as much of the drop cloth. So if you had those clips that you can put in the end of this, or you made some like Matthias Wandel does, I was thinking about doing that, but I didn't really want to take the time. You wouldn't have to use up as much of the cloth just by hanging it. So that would be a better solution. My method for attaching the rope to the drop cloth is to take about 2 feet of rope and take the 2 ends and just make a knot around them. Pull it tight. Helps to use the pliers to get it really tight. And then I grab a handful of the drop cloth, wrap the rope around, put this end through the loop, wrap it through 2 more times. There we go. And then try to pull it as tight as I can. Then just hang it up. Having this temporary wall up really makes it clear how small my working space is. It's really only about 70 square feet. So it feels kind of claustrophobic and restricted right now, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. And it's going to keep the dust out of the rest of the house and the storage area, which, you know, I've dealt with that before. I used to have a basement in an apartment where the whole basement was open. So whenever I did woodworking, it would put, you know, especially using the router or the circular saw, it would put dust everywhere. And so even if I was working at the opposite end of the basement, dust would end up all over the stuff that we had on storage shelves. So I'm trying to prevent that, and this is going to work. And I'm trying to keep in mind also that this is just a temporary situation. I'm hoping eventually that I'll either be able to move my shop into the garage permanently, or I'm going to build a separate shop out in the backyard. So yeah, I'm going to make it work for now. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Take care, guys.